always knew that I wanted kids quite early, especially working in a fertility clinic. He knew I wanted kids quite early, so he was thankfully happy to oblige. And we're obviously still very happily married. But yeah, he's obviously working today, so he couldn't be here. We always had this idea that we wanted our 2 kids close in age. And I suppose kind of going into trying for a second baby, we were somewhat naive to think everything was fine the first time around. So surely we won't have any problems for our second. And then we started trying, and we did get pregnant relatively quickly, which that unfortunately resulted in a miscarriage at 8 weeks. It was very difficult at the time, but we tried again, and we had another positive pregnancy test, which that sadly resulted in another miscarriage at 6 weeks. And then we tried again, but it sadly resulted in another miscarriage at 6 weeks. So it was quite a lot in a short space of time. It knocked me for 6. You feel lost. And at that stage, I did actually go for some counselling myself, which I'd never been for counselling. And it did help. Secondary infertility, there is kind of a preconception that you have one child. You should be so lucky that you have one child. But we both really wanted it for Will. We really wanted him to grow up with a sibling, and not everyone has that opportunity, but he is the reason we kept going. And that's the thing with secondary infertility, is people sometimes don't see that. They see that you just want a second child for you, but a lot of the time but for us anyway, it was for him. I work in Sims, so it's been a weird journey, to say the least. Like, you can't really turn your mind off when you're dealing with couples and people going through their own fertility struggles. There was a lot of positives to go with it, like I suppose having kind of a background understanding and a knowledge, and obviously having like amazing colleagues and so much expertise and things like that. It's very fortunate in that sense. I trust everyone in Sims so much. There's no way I could go somewhere else. So I had to bite the bullet, and I had to have that conversation. And I'm so happy that I did. Although I was giving away control, I felt I was taking control of the situation because I was doing something proactive about trying to have a second child. Some places are black and white. You follow X, Y, and Z treatment plan and that's it. Whereas I knew it would be customised to me and what I needed. And there is always different avenues that you can try if the first one doesn't work. We made the decision to start the treatment in the May of 23. Our first round didn't work, which that in its own right is actually really difficult, and it's something I've learned. It is almost like a loss in itself because you have so much hope built up. And again, it's all about that expectation. I expected it to work and it didn't, so it's huge. So then it was the August then that I kind of picked up the courage to go again. And it was with that cycle that we had success. Thankfully, the pregnancy was absolutely fine. And I'll honestly never forget the moment. I still well up even when I think about it. Hearing a baby cry is something I honestly wasn't sure I'd ever hear. So it's safe to say I absolutely cried my eyes out. I think it's really important to be kind to yourself, especially with fertility. It's hard not to blame yourself. I also think it's really important to talk. Just set those boundaries and make sure that they know it's up to you then to decide what information you share. Something that I found very helpful was speaking to people that did know, that did understand. I spoke to my 2 close friends who've been in a similar situation. One had been in a situation where she also had pregnancy losses. So speaking to her, that was very helpful. And I think it's really important as well, if you have a partner, to try and just have a bit of time to yourselves, because fertility and fertility issues and struggles can really get in on a relationship. So it's important to just go out for dinner and just try and not talk about it. He was there through the thick and thin, and it's his story as well to share. It's not just mine. And even all the struggles and everything we've been through, but having her in my arms, it's just it's amazing. So grateful to Sims for getting us our dream, a second baby. So we are forever grateful.